this stream right after this. Okay, let's play. This is a game against Gord, aka Gumby Gord, aka Star Gord. First game of the day. He's also streaming this. I encourage everyone in chat to multi-stream. But here we go. We're doing it live. Oh my god, Dave gifted 5 subs to viewers. Dave, that was so unnecessary. You're too nice. Aw, mans, you didn't have to spend your hard-earned shekels on me. Aw, wow, Andre got a... Andre's generally pretty lucky with the gift subs. No, thank you so much, man. You're too kind, Dave. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Actually, that's a pretty big play because being subscribed gives you enhanced channel point generation, I think by like maybe 20% or something like that. So these rewards are more likely to get redeemed in the near future. Who got one? Narik got one. Lawnmower. Oh man, Dave, thank you so much, Dave. I really appreciate it. I feel the love. All right, with that, let's jump into this game against Gumby Gord, who's also streaming. Let's do this. Ooh, okay. E3. E3 is interesting. E3 is interesting. I'm just gonna go ahead and knight f6, and we'll see how this goes. Would have been karma if I got one, you know, before the bronze game. Yeah, that's really funny. Oh man. Okay. All right. Any league matches planned for today? I tried to set them up. Actually, I have to play Andre, so I could have set that up. But my next league match is supposed to be against Romad, and he asked me when I would be available to play our league match, and I said today, but then he sort of dropped off. He didn't respond. I think he must have a lot going on right now, so probably not. Probably we're just gonna play some chill games. Maybe it's challenge games if anyone wants to. Today might be a challenge games day. Wow, queen out immediately. You know, I've seen someone else do this. I think the only other person I've seen do this is Narik. It makes sense. This queen's scary here. I've been told that there are traps, but I have no idea what they are. I'm just gonna play what I know. I'm gonna play what I know, which is d5, c6, and then just play like a standard system, you know, like a whatever pseudo London system game against this. I've heard that there's some trickiness to this opening, but nobody's actually told me. I think that if there aren't, it's probably bad, right? I mean, it's a little awkward to develop this knight. You know, you don't want your queen in front of the rest of your pieces. I mean, I've said this before, but back when the game first came out, everyone was all about only ever developing the queen and no other piece, and then trying to go for silly 5D shenanigans, which I think, you know, I don't know what our opponent's going for, but I mean, if you're not falling for sort of really tricky 5D tactics early on, I mean, I think that this opening has the same pitfalls as in regular chess, where, you know, the queen gets chased around, it can't lead the attack, you sort of halt your development, it becomes a little awkward. You know, what you want to do is like launch your king side off and then develop the queen behind them normally. But I mean, it's definitely not trivial. Like I'm gonna be taking this really seriously in terms of like the threat of this. Like, I'm sure that there is a cornucopia of incredibly sharp sort of themes that like I need to be aware of out of this opening. I just don't know what they are, so if we succumb to that, then I'll actually be pretty happy. Okay, so gearing up for a frappuccino. Question is, here we have two options. Here, obviously what we want to do is close up the diagonal. The thing is, or, you know, the triagonal. The thing is that the queen doesn't have any really easy access to this triagonal right now, so it's not necessarily like imperative that we super immediately make that happen. It's possible that it's okay. It's possible that we can afford to develop this bishop here and kick that queen. This whole get your queen out here and get this bishop developed on this diagonal, the fianchetto toward the opponent's king side, toward this knight, is super strong. It is inherently really dangerous. The question is, so, you know, we don't want to set it up without answering. Okay, the way I see it, I have three choices. I can either close up this triangle immediately, I can redefend this knight immediately, which would happen either with an e6 or a g6, preparing my own frappuccino, which I kind of like. Kind of like that idea. Well, that's not fantastic. I mean, it's probably not an issue, but it does like briefly undefend this knight so that like a queen sack results in a capture with this pawn, opening up this file. But I mean, we can close that back up again, so it's not like, it's kind of risky, but not that risky. Alternatively, we could play a different move, like bishop out here kicking this queen and then enabling something like an e6 that doesn't block in this bishop. What we don't want is like basically a French bishop, you know, from 2D chess, where it's like totally locked in, because otherwise, you know, rattling off this move now seems really good, but then we block this bishop in entirely. So maybe I wonder if we go ahead and do this now. But what if we do this now, then this queen moves up, threatening to actually take advantage of this triagonal. Then we can't do one of these. Instead, we have to do either one of these, which is a little bit sketchy, or pull this bishop back. Alternatively, if that happens, bishop out here, queen goes here, we could queen up, use that opportunity to activate the queen, redefend this bishop, and then if this bishop comes in, we can push this pawn and this triagonal is no longer under threat. Or we fianchetto. What are the options? I don't know that. So if we have the double fianchetto setup, I think that the double fianchetto setup is probably favorable here because there isn't really another way, I don't think, easily that we can activate this bishop. Oh man, really interesting. Oh, this is selfish. Gotta get up to 10k. Oh, gifting subs gives you channel points. That I didn't realize. I didn't realize that. Okay. Hold on. Let's actually decide what we want to do. I like this idea because I think it's the most critical of the idea that this queen is out this early. The safer play is to just frappuccino our own bishop. So I don't know. You know what? We are on stream. This. Where else does this queen have to go? It can't go here, so this is like only move, or it backs up, in which case, well, I mean, it can't back up, right? This queen is almost stuck in a way. Probably goes here. You know what? Let's just do this. Hopefully I'm not missing something. Something like this. Something like this probably means that we pull our queen out. And if we trade queens with this development advantage, then I feel good about that. By the way, can I choose black or white for bronze? I'll have to think about it. Maybe we'll do a best of 2. Whatever is fairest. We'll figure it out. Are you gonna play your 1.5 match? Good question. I should. Who do I play? I kind of forgot about that. Best of 2 meaning, you know, like one with white, one with black. And then if the same person wins, perfect. And if they don't, then we figure out a tiebreaker. Triskelion. Yeah, I'm down to play. Hopefully they're around. If you can track them down on the Discord, I would love to play them. I haven't thought about 1.5 yet at all. I think Penguin came in, Crazy Penguin, to chat last stream and convinced me to sign up. Or maybe that was, yeah, whenever the last stream was. And okay, only move. We don't want to get mated here, so that's what we do. And then something like this, and then this is no longer mate because there's this here. I mean, this is actually still like a concern. Oh, you know, what I've done here is actually not, I see now why this is suboptimal. This is actually fine for me because now I can defend f7 again. Actually, the question is where I want to defend f7 again. Hold on. Seems like a waste if I do that. This is a cute idea. Probably not worth, but actually, no, it's not worth. Do I drop it back to here? And defend f7 like this? Or do I pull it all the way back here? Which makes it seem like I kind of wasted a move. Well, not really, because it got his queen to move. Well, I don't like that this actually blocks. This and then pushes and then pull it back. Whatever, let's just do this. Let's not think about it that much. This is kind of nice, the fact that this exists. There's like a crazy world in which, well, if this pawn wasn't pushed, if somehow I can maneuver my queen to a place where it can get here, then there is some lines where I do something crazy like check here, you know, and then like has to take, and then queen out here, and then like travel to a board where my bishop was staring at that square or whatever, something like that. Mage politely let me know that I can't use the banned word. So thank you for that. Probably that's not good. That's not a good strategy. Yeah. Narik's like, let him forget. Yeah. Oh man. It's not lost on me that this pawn is undefended, so that's a potential opening for us. Time situation, we have both used a lot of time, as Neith P has come in and pointed out. How's it going, Neith? What's up? Yeah, where is Gumby? Oh, almost said it. Does Gumby also like to take his sweet time? I don't know if that's how he is. I didn't get that impression based on our previous games. I've chosen like a very critical line of this early queen out opening, but it's not without its repercussions. Like, if I can buy enough turns to set up like the defensive structure that I need, which is, like 1, close this triagonal. 2, maybe fianchetto this bishop because there isn't, because I really would rather not move this pawn. The problem is that I've given myself a very clumsy structure because it almost made more sense. I've given myself a very clumsy structure because this knight is going to be somewhat difficult to... Okay, yeah, so this Frappuccino occurs. And the problem is that I can't redefend with the queen. Ooh, you know what I could do? Maybe something like this. Because simultaneously this queen continues to prevent this trigonal mate and defends this knight and attacks this and threatens, shall we say, shenanigans, and opens up this square for this knight. I like that idea. What if just takes here and then takes? This bishop's hanging, but how does he... There's a world in which there's like a wacky fork. Wait. The fact that this pawn is undefended, we have Tchaikovsky ideas. This is beautiful Tchaikovsky ideas. Oh my god. We have beautiful Tchaikovsky ideas. We take this here. We move here. And then in like 1 or 2 turns, we travel. And its only move is retakes. Wow. We do it because I want to make this move anyway, and it'll seem to him like I'm defending. Yeah, that's only move because it checks the king in the past. And now this queen move is one that I wanted to make anyway to defend this knight again, but now it actually threatens this travel. So how many turns in the past do we honor travel? We need to wait 1, 2, 3, okay, we need to wait 2 turns. So it's not this turn, but 2 turns from now. We can travel here, which Tchaikovsky's. Oh, beautiful. Wait, no, even further back, right? Sorry. We want to travel here. So in 1 turn, we have this, right? Because if we travel here, it's his turn here. Then we'll have a queen here that threatens this king here. So if we traveled this turn, we would go here on this board, here on this board, here on this board. But so it's not this turn, but next turn. That is incredible. Wow. Have I done that right? I don't know. There's defenses, say Enrique. No spoilerinos. Don't tell me that. I'm gonna pretend I didn't read that. I'm sure there are defenses. Oh, you mean like here on the board? Yeah. No, there are ways that he can prevent it, but like once the travel happens, you know, it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. There are definitely defenses, but I think it's tricky. Wonder if he's wondering why I did that. I wouldn't blame him. Question is what we do next. We have several options. I think getting this knight here so that we have an extra defender here so that we can Frappuccino this bishop. But right now we can't Frappuccino the bishop because then the only 2 defenders are these 2 pieces. So once he does, takes... you know, takes, we've got an open. We've got open. An open file for the king. So there are phase mates that are an issue, but just what a pretty idea. Oh man, I'm getting so excited. Isn't that beautiful? That's like the purest. This is the purest incarnation of a Tchaikovsky, in the wild. Not the Tchaikovsky, but a Tchaikovsky conceptually. Oh man, this is great. I have to. Okay, I'm definitely. This has just made me so excited. I think I'm definitely going to talk about this in the video whenever I get around to making it. That sort of discusses Tchaikovsky's and other sort of advanced or intermediate 5D chess tactics. That's a few videos down the line. I've got to finish my how to play / tutorial video first, and then my beginner tactics video. But I'm just really, it's just such a beautiful idea. Even if it ends up not panning out, even if it doesn't work, it's just a pretty idea. Now, oh, he wants to trade. Do I have to take that queen? There's a chance that I have to take that queen because it's check this turn. I think because I move toward him, it doesn't work, right? Yeah, I'm not in check. Okay, so the play is this. Well, yeah, in one move, I think I'm going to block here like this. Oh no, because I can't move this. I can't move this queen because it's pinned. That's a little lame. Okay. Well, he's successfully prevented me from doing this, but in the process has also opened himself up maybe to a decent travel. Okay, so here what we've done is lost a piece without the necessary compensation. Because if we do this, the issue is that the bishop comes in, right? And there's no other way. Okay. Gumby, stop this. It's funny because Gumby was actually in the chat last stream asking what a Tchaikovsky was. That was somewhat recent. And there you go. Now he knows firsthand. This queen is pinned, so it can't actually go anywhere right now. Unfortunately, this is a non-starter because the bishop comes in. So the question is, do we want to? I think we probably want to develop a piece. Yeah, pinning this queen was the right play for sure, hands down. Pinning this queen was the right play because now that he's down a piece, like it's, you know, the dream is that he trades down with the piece advantage and then wins the game, right? So the question is, do we want to? We also have to pay attention to the timer. Do we want to take ourselves proactively, or well, okay, let's do this, because if he doesn't take, we win next turn pretty much. Wait, and if he does take, then we just take back, but the onus is on Gumby here. The onus is on Gumby here to capture. If he doesn't, then we get the travel. This guy's no longer pinned. Hey, what's up, Kings? How's it going, Begellian? What's up? Begellian? I remember that your name is it's like a portmanteau of Belgian, but I don't remember if you prefer Begellian, like a J, or Begellian with a G. But I haven't seen you on stream in a while, so welcome back. You can just call me Bagel. I'm good with that. What up, Bagel? All right, so he has to take, only move his takes. Okay, now we're down a piece, but it was worth it. It was worth it for the creative expression, you know, of our play. I feel strongly about that. Now, what is nice is that we have this beautiful file that's super open for us to do with whatever we please. Hopping this knight in here is an attractive idea because now the king is no longer on the king's side, so this threatens this fork here. But it doesn't really grab us a lot, I guess. Well, what do here? In case of that fork, I guess the king moves, but we're probably happy about that. Question is how, what we really want is to, let's see, when does this file get cleared off? Okay, so here, I'm just looking at how far back we can, oh, that's weird. I guess he's planning on threatening this pawn. That seems like not a good move. It seems like a bit of a waste. Alternatively, it's possible that he's planning on moving in here like this, in which case we push this pawn. If he moves back here to threaten this pawn, which is a good instinct, we just pull the rook over and we don't really care. Oh, and then he pulls this bishop over. Now I understand the idea. The idea is here, threaten this pawn, and then, you know, only defense, like here. Like that, but then this bishop comes in like that. Okay, so we have two options. Well, okay, so if we can defend this, what we could do is push this pawn up now, and if this happens, then we pull our rook up. That's not a permanent solution, I fear. Do we want a castle here? Is that bonkers? Maybe we want to do this so that we can push this pawn. Okay, so if we do this and then we push this pawn, then we travel and then we push this pawn, and then the next turn we travel this turn, like 2 turns after that. Hold on, let me calculate something real quick. This, so we go here on this board, here on this board, here on this board. This doesn't actually get us anything, right? Here on this board. Yeah, this pawn is already pushed. So we have a bishop comes in here. And it's possible that he takes with the king. In which case we have like check, check. I don't really know how we deliver mate though. We could do an f2 travel, but I don't know if it's conclusive. Okay, well, let's not waste time. Then again, this does threaten. What does this threaten? I mean, it threatens this fork, but how much does he actually care? Well, the nice thing is that he either succumbs to the fork. It also threatens this bishop. It threatens the fork or the bishop. So what if he does this in response? Maybe we just don't care. We let him grab this. Is that wise? We're going to do it. You know, at the end of the day, this pawn isn't the end of the world if we can castle. And it's possible that we can castle. And it enables us to do a little bit of the old switcheroo. There is the anti-castle travel that we have to worry about. But I think castling gets rid of our back rank woes. I don't know. There are lots of ideas here for both sides. I'm pushing up this pawn. It's possible that that's good. I don't know if Gumby knows about the anti-castle travel. We need to be careful about the time as well. We're behind. It is important that we don't. Whoa. That's not at all what I thought was going to happen. I mean, can't argue with that. Do we take with the pawn? Probably, right? I want to activate the knight, but I don't want this to be a thing. Yeah. I don't know that that's good. T11, white had one developed piece. The heck is this? Please input skill. Astute observation. Yeah, it's a wacky... It's one of those openings where our opponent Gumby played e3 and brought the queen out immediately, and we played the most critical line, which basically knocked this queen around. Lost a bunch of tempo. We came up with a very beautiful, not to toot my own horn, but what I think was a really nice like Tchaikovsky mating idea, and in response he had to sack his queen. Then what I now realize happened, I'm not sure that I really love this type of move, but what he did was move this bishop so that he could sacrifice timeline advantage for queen advantage. Oh, you know what I just realized is that we can't... I didn't think that he'd take this. Not that it really mattered because this was hanging anyway. But now we have to be super careful. Now we have to be super careful. We ought to not lose immediately. Is it too late for us? The issue is, okay, so the unprotected square here is this, right? What we don't want, we need to cover this square, and it seems like the only way to do that is probably to do this, like that. Now this rook covers this. You might say, but Samet, taking this pawn here is mate, but he can't do that next turn because our pawn will recapture. Our pawn will recapture that queen, and if he doesn't do it next turn, then this knight now blocks this triagonal. So in this case, it was good. It was nice because it took the queen and also generated like a really spooky mating net. Thank you, Dave Gamal, for the gift sub. Yeah, grats, Dadik. Winning the lottery. Yeah, Dave is a generous soul. Thank you, Dave Gone Wild, for the gift sub. Dreamer, don't poo-poo my very generous and supportive friends. That's not cool. He gifted 5 random subs, so just joking. I know. I'm just saying. I don't even, you know, it feels bad even joking about that. Party hats. I don't know. I mean, what really sucks is that this is now not a great move. I anticipated this. Probably just pulling the rook in is the play, yeah. Really sort of fortressing up. We're on the back foot on this board, that's for sure. We just need to be careful about where this queen can go. I mean, obviously it's our turn down here, but... So this is out of the question. It's hanging. This does force the queen off of that square. I can just grab this pawn now. Can't really do very much about that. We do now need to be careful about this. I mean, what sucks about moving this rook is that it no longer covers this rook, so we also have to remove this rook to not get back ranked. Let me make sure that this is actually... So it goes here on this board, right? F6, F5, F4, F3, F2. Is that right? Is that after the queen's moved? Hold on, the king. If I push this pawn this turn, F6, F5, F4, F3, F2. It is just after. So we don't have great follow-ups because this doesn't check the king. Butts. All right. This is a bit of an issue. We also don't want to run out of time. Is it possible for us to generate a threat? You can't capture this rook or this rook because they defend each other next turn. And if he doesn't move this queen, then we take this queen with this knight, right? So maybe I want to not even worry about that and generate a threat of our own. The question is, what is that threat actually? Oh, I wish I had more time. Okay, we don't want to lose the time. Where can this go? Can't go back here or take this or take this. It can go here. But am I realistically worried about that? Maybe I generate... I really don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Banned word is happening, but has it happened already? I haven't lost to time yet. I didn't make that move because I thought it was good. I made it because I wanted to make like a generic active move and not lose the game to time. I'm getting anxious just talking about the game now that we're low on time. Which doesn't help the whole running out of time situation either, mind you. I mean, the question is how good a fork actually is. The answer is not very, but the nice thing is that if we can fork with both pieces at the same time, then the bishop can't recapture. Because if we don't do just the one, then the bishop from the other board recaptures. If we do it with both at the same time, then both bishops can't recapture. New music is also kind of... I mean, months and months of just the same playlist has really, this is like unfamiliar territory. This is a really interesting position. That was a good find. I didn't even see it. I never think about those moves. You know who does? The few games that I've played, I've only played 5D House with him, I think. If I played him 1v1, I don't know, but Plausible Alpaca loves going for that, like queen trade into bishop time travel, etc. In this case, it was good for like positional tactical reasons, as well as just gaining a queen advantage, because it generated a really scary attack. Takes is the issue here. Just if this happens, then we take, and we can't be put into check, so we, although now the question is, if we want to do that time travel, now would be when we do it, but we don't have time. Okay, so what do we even do here? I really don't actually know. I guess we'll go ahead and do this because I'm about to run out of time and I don't want to lose on time. And if this happens, then we can just pull both of our rooks over it like that. Okay, so now the question is, does this become a good move? And I think the answer is yes, because you can grab a bishop 2 squares in the past, you know. I think that's good for us. This right here, it's soft mate, right? It's an idea. It doesn't have a queen here to travel with. Yeah, maybe we pulled it back, man. This is also soft mate, but you can't take a pawn 1 turn in the past. Actually, we can, because his board doesn't. No, here we can't. Yeah, sorry. Do we pull this out? Hopefully I'm not missing something. Thankfully it's just 2 turns. I mean, I know we have like 5 seconds, but I think the delay covers the animation here. Whew! We got there. We made it. GG. GG. GG to our opponent. And we didn't even lose on time. We didn't even lose on time. Nice. Nice, nice. Whew. Sheesh. Good stuff. GG. That was an interesting game. There were a lot of interesting ideas there. Oh, man. That was great. We were sweating there. We were under the gun for sure. We did it. Okay. Did I got pinged on the Discord. Oh, it was Tourney stuff. Okay. Oh my god, GG Gumby. What a game. What a game. Let's see what happened here. Let's run over this. Let's run back over this. We had the E3. We had the Queen F3, which I'm still critical of this opening. I don't think that I played it fantastically. First game random. Yeah, Sonoy. Give me a second to get there. Let me just look over this game real quick. Would you like to play a game, Sumit? I'd love to play a game, Neith. Sonoy already submitted the challenge channel points reward, so we're going to be playing a game of Just Bronze with the stakes of a subscription. But right after that, I'd be happy to play you. Okay, so queen came out. Right? Yeah, I mean, kicking this queen around, I think, is a good way to... I mean, I don't know if we're in a better position after this move like this. The one issue with what I've done is... I mean, okay, so the bishop move is nice because he has to waste a move on repositioning the queen, but the issue is that it positions the queen... Like, the reason that I felt comfortable doing this instead of closing the trigonal was that the queen doesn't have easy access to the trigonal, which I mentioned. And then immediately... I forced the queen, like, only move into a position where it now has access to this trigonal, so that was not the best play I've ever had. Hey, Ian's here. How's it going, Ian? What up? So that was bad. And then I had to cover this trigonal somehow. I could have pulled the bishop back. I don't know that I necessarily would have gained anything by kicking the queen up here instead of back here. I don't really know. Well, it's sketchy. It's sketchy. In any case, I had to pull the queen up here, which there were two problems with that. One was that if this actually ends up happening, if this fianchetto actually ends up happening, then I need another defender of this knight, which is what happened. And so I can't use this knight. I have to push up this queen, which opens up the trigonal, which isn't necessarily that big of a deal. Well, I mean, it is really annoying that I had to reopen the trigonal. Or push the queen out here, which again threatens the Tchaikovsky idea, but the pinning of the queen was the one issue there. Like, if what happened was that he pinned the queen with the bishop after I made that move, let's just fast forward. So I had the idea of this Tchaikovsky, which, I mean, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't do again against an experienced opponent. The idea here, of course, is that by forcing the king onto this, like what we did was we noticed that the c2 pawn was undefended, which meant that by forcing the bishop onto, or by checking the king in the past with bishop d1, forcing king takes bishop d1, we expose white to an attack of this queen. You know what I should have done? I shouldn't have moved the queen out like that. Positionally, that's pretty bad, though. No. Yes. No. Yes. It's really hard to say. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch. Like, I don't know if there's a nice forcing line that prevents. I think after this, I mean, we moved our queen out here so that we could travel to the turn before, so that we could travel to this turn with our queen here. He can't take this queen, and when it comes to our turn here on the next timeline, this queen threatens this king here, and that's softmate. That's the idea behind sacking the bishop here. That's what we call a Tchaikovsky. Obviously, the pinning of the queen is what happened here, so maybe instead of moving, like, it's not necessary to move the queen here immediately, right? So maybe what I should have done, especially because if he sacks both of these pieces into here, first of all, if I still have a queen, I can probably defend against a back rank mate. So I didn't need to immediately defend this knight here, and it kind of made it obvious that my Tchaikovsky is going to happen if it wasn't obvious already. So I think that what I should have done, instead of moving the queen here on this turn, Romad, thanks so much for subscribing. GG Cement, good job not running out of time and keeping your composure with the queen down. Thank you, Romad. Romad, you're on a 4-month streak. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. I didn't expect to see you around. This is fantastic. We can play our league game. Oh wait, was Gord's pawn on g3 already when H played h3? When he played h3? Okay, give me a second. Instead of playing this queen move here, what do you guys think about something nuts like b5? Because if b5, if any of this stuff happens, like for all I need to buy is a single turn. That's what's fantastic, right? If b5, then we don't have this queen pin idea. And if bishop b5, if bishop takes b5 after b5, then queen takes b5 threatens mate. And we get our piece back. And then these pieces can maybe that's, I mean, probably with perfect play, there isn't actually anything to that, but the next turn, then the thing is that we can actually, we have a 2-turn window to do the travel. We can either do the travel in such a way that our queen ends up on this board checking this king in the past. Alternatively, the queen can be on this board checking this king in the past, or even on this board checking this king in the past. So the window of opportunity to make that travel happen is actually wide. So if we do this here on this turn like that, he has to do something that prevents queen here from being a play immediately afterward, or he loses. He can provide a check, he can threaten a check, or the next two moves actually, right? So then what happens? So then queen takes here enables this time travel to happen after this happens. He doesn't have, the only thing that prevents this queen from immediately going to c6 and then doing this travel is the bishop out here, in which case we take, threaten softmate, and we can still move back in time travel the next turn. Maybe that was a play. Maybe that was a play. I don't know. Bagel says this is way over my head. Yeah, I don't blame you. Let's see. Pawn h3 before queen is safer for white. Oh, I see. I agree. Pawn h3 before queen, I'm marginally less critical of that. Yeah. No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. h3 first. And so I kind of allowed him to play h3, which he already wanted to play here, but I'm not too worried about it. Not too worried. Though Fianchetto first is super trappy. Fianchetto first seems super trappy. I can understand how, because it's just that idea has been coming up a lot lately, but it's been coming up where there's this disposable knight that you can sack onto f7 that your opponent can't do very much about. Something like knight f3, you know, knight g5, queen f3, and you've got the bishop frappuccino is just a recipe for disaster. Because if you haven't played something like h5, I guess maybe defends, then you run into, you know, knight captures like this. If king takes, bishop takes, you know, pawn takes, and then the queen on f3 comes to h5 and delivers mate, or other similar ideas. Even if you haven't pushed h5, like the knight here, bishop frappuccino staring down the f7 knight is just like a recipe for disaster. So I see a guy for the Russell Brand look. That's what we'll call it. Yes, the Russell Blair, they call me the Russell Brand of 5D chess. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but OMG Sumet, that was an amazing game. Wasn't that a great game? Gord's here. GG, that was a great game. Gord, that was a fantastic game. I really didn't see your bishop ideas. I was like, what? I understand. I thought it was a 2D idea. Let me say that. Because I just look for this idea of like trade queens and then recapture. I look for that so seldom. And here I thought it was a really good like 2D tactical idea where you wanted to bring this, attack this pawn. I mean, queens are off the board, so you don't have to worry too much about 5D stuff anyway. And then after rook c8 to defend the c7 pawn, bishop out here to attack the rook, I thought something like that was going to happen. And I was like, mad props, like that's good. How do I deflect? And then the travel happened, and I was like, I don't like that travel in general. But then I saw that it wasn't just about like trading timeline advantage for the queen up, because I forced this queen to move to f4 from f3, and so actually that was like really detrimental for me. And then, you know, luckily I ended up holding. I was staring, as soon as I made the king move, I was staring down this idea of like the e4 to jump in here, because if you move, that's good for me. If you don't move with the king, that's good for me. And if you don't move with the king, yeah, I remember, I'll never forget. Like, I will always immensely respect knights on the back two ranks, even if there are a lot of pieces around, just because exactly this sort of thing can happen. So I was happy about this. Yeah, we pulled it out.